All right, we've got a bonus partner track from Pete at Databox. We're going to learn a little bit about what's going on with Databox as a product, some new products that you have launched recently, and what's going on with the partner program from none other than Pete Caputa. So Pete, why don't you introduce yourself if anyone's watching that doesn't already know you?
I'm sure there's plenty. My name is Pete Caputa, as you mentioned. Been doing digital marketing for the better part of a quarter century at this point. I've done a few startups, ended up landing at HubSpot where I spent 9 years. And as Alex knows, built the agency partner program there and scaled that up. Ended up leaving there in 2017 on good terms, of course, and joined a smaller, much smaller startup called Databox, and I've helped Databox grow that organization. Partially with our focus on working with marketing agencies. So today I will be sharing exactly how we work with marketing agencies, as well as a really exciting new product that we've been working on technically for years, but we started working on it about a year ago, called benchmark groups. And so I will share how agencies can leverage that in their own marketing and sales.
Killer. Let's dive in. You got an awesome presentation that we were just riffing on. We'll have some visuals here for you guys, as usual.
Cool. All right. So today I'm going to talk about how you can leverage Databox to build your own unique and proprietary, I guess those are kind of the same words, unique and proprietary, benchmarks that you can use to answer the question from your clients of how they compare to companies like theirs. So I'm sure you all get that question. How do we compare to other companies? And how is our performance how it should be, or should it be better? And then, of course, the follow question is, how can we make it better? And so I know that you get those questions from your clients all the time. And so we've designed this tool, this product, and this data around helping you answer that question. Also, historically, for the last 6 years, we've been helping agencies automate their reporting processes through live dashboards that are accessible on any device. Our 70 plus native integrations that make it really easy to pull in data from the most popular software tools, and automated reporting, which helps agencies spit out a custom semi-automated report that explains the results to clients and explains how you got them. So I'll talk a bit about how all of that works together, but today I'm going to focus in a little bit more on the benchmarking stuff. All right, so big shout out to Alex and team for providing a template for these presentations. They not only provided a great template, but they built a great framework for how to think about how software companies should partner with agencies. And so I've used that to kind of walk you through our opportunity here. So here's what we are for agencies. Our benchmark analytics and reporting tools allow agencies to leverage data to market, qualify, retain, and upsell clients. Most agencies are using reports as kind of a check the box activity. I'm an engineer by training and hardcore into data, and I'm a big advocate of using data on your whole sales and client renewal and upsell processes. And if you think of it more strategically, it can be a real asset for your business. At Databox, we're a big believer in making it easy for companies to adopt software. So we actually have free versions of both of our products, free versions of the benchmark product. Actually, the whole thing is free. And then we have a free version of our analytics and reporting tools. The price point for agencies is like a few $100 a month, starting at $72 a month. When you buy a license with us, you can add and remove clients at will and just pay for the overall usage. So it ends up being like tens of dollars per month per client. So it's quite affordable tool. As I mentioned, we have 70 plus native integrations, and actually you can integrate Databox with anything or pull or push data in from any tool, as long as you can get access to that data. And then ways that you can work with us. We're heavy into co-marketing. Alex is a longtime advocate of how we do co-marketing by crowdsourcing expertise from our agency partners. But we also have built this brand new product called Benchmark Groups, which I'll show you in a bit, which is built 100% to help agencies go to market with us, or go to market and also let us help you go to market. Also, there's capabilities to very easily monitor performance from all your clients, from all their tools in one spot, one screen even. Build your own dashboard and report template so that you can have your own proprietary reporting process that's reusable from client to client, which saves you hours of reinventing the wheel each time. We are co-branded by default on our analytics and our benchmarks product, but on the analytics product, we do have a white label add-on available if you want to purchase it, if you want to represent the product as your own. So that's a bit about us. Did I miss anything important, you think, Alex?
No. I think I'm new to this new benchmark tool, so comment too much
Cool.
on that.
Yeah, I'm mixing a little bit of both the benchmarks and our existing business. So I forgot to say this: we have more than 1,000 agencies that use us for dashboards and reporting. So it's not like we're new on the market here. We've been around for a while doing that. What's new is the benchmark groups product. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. But first, I want to switch your minds a little bit in terms of how you probably think about reporting. Most agencies think about reporting as a way to show your clients that the work that you did produced some kind of result for them. And yeah, you have to do that if you're providing any kind of professional services, not just marketing work, but any kind of professional services. You have to show your clients that you did work, it had an impact, and here's hopefully the ROI from that, right? But I highly advocate for agencies to step back and think about how to use data to be more strategic with the clients and elevate your position in the relationship, and to ultimately think about your reporting processes as something that clients should ultimately pay for because you're delivering so much value in there. And so there's a few ways to do that. I have them in my last sentence there. One is use data to support your recommendations. If you can go into a client and say, we have data from across clients in your industry or like you, and this is what they've done in order to outperform the rest, then that's really valuable advice that you're giving, and you're using data to support that. That's most likely insight that they can't get somewhere else, especially if you're focused and have your own data. Also, to justify consulting only fees. What agencies tend to do is kind of give away consulting in order to sell services. And of course, you can't give away services. I'm not suggesting you reverse that, but you should also be charging for your consulting because you're bringing a lot of value in the recommendations that you're delivering to clients. And so with data as a product, you can go in and justify consulting only fees. And finally, recommend using data, not just from marketing, but in the entire company to really, your client's entire company, to really help you elevate the strategy recommendations that you're making, right? To step back from saying, hey, we should create this content to get ranked for this, or we should tweak your website because it'll convert better. You can start to use data to have conversations about what their market is, how big is their market, how they can expand their market, and what kind of tactics and strategies they're executing in order to capitalize on that opportunity. And so using data in those ways allow you to really elevate the way you sell and the way you support your clients. Two books that I'd highly recommend, both from David C. Baker. One is The Business. Actually have one sitting right here, unopened. Although my copy is dog-eared quite a bit, but The Business of Expertise. And then his latest book called The Trade Secrets of Elite Advisors, the Tradecraft Secrets of Elite Advisors, something like that. Both listened to that and read that one as well. Highly recommend it. But I think if you read his stuff, you'll kind of get a better feel for where I'm going with this stuff and why, and a lot of the logic behind why we built the products that I'm about to share with you now. All right, so this is a brand new product. It's been out only a few months. We've had 15,000 companies sign up for this product. What it allows any company to do, regardless of whether you're an agency or not, is go in, connect any of our data sources, any of those 70 data sources that I mentioned, and instantly see how their performance compares to the rest of the companies in our that have opted in. And because so many companies have opted in, we've actually been able to build really niche groups. So we have groups for manufacturing companies, groups for B2B companies versus B2C companies, small companies versus large companies, I think we even have groups for realtors or real estate agents. We have a group for restaurants. Like it's all over the map in terms of the groups that we've created. But the really cool thing that this allows is it allows agencies to create their own groups and control exactly who's in them. So for the agencies that are smart enough to pick a niche market, this allows them to create a proprietary benchmark that only they'll have access to, and their their clients that they land, that allows them to go to the type of company they're working for and say, hey, companies like yours perform this way. These are the exact metrics that they have. What I'm showing here on the right is actually a group from one of our partners, Good to Be Social. I'm just showing 2 out of a bunch of metrics in there. You'll have to talk to him if you want to join the group and see the rest of the metrics. But basically, he's got 50 companies that have opted in, and they're benchmarking their Google Analytics, their Search Console, and their LinkedIn company page in this group. And they're able to go in and see, how do we compare to the group? And so real quickly, what this chart is showing is that, let's see, the typical law firm in this group, the median one, has 470 followers. The highest performing law firm in this group has 6.9 thousand followers. This is the top quartile, the 25%, and the bottom 25% have only 286. So there's a big, obviously huge difference between companies that have 286 followers and companies that have nearly 7,000 followers. And so what he, as an agency that only helps law firms, can go in to his clients and say, hey, you're below the median. You only have 300 followers. Some of our other clients have 7,000. Look, would you like to learn how you can get up to 7,000 followers, right? And because they obviously have ways of helping that law firm increase their follower count. So you can do this. You can build a group like this for any type of industry, because you're basically controlling who the members are. You invite those companies to join your group, and that's how you can control it. I have a group of just HubSpot partners that are platinum, diamond, or elite. That's like the top tier HubSpot partners. 31 of them have opted in. Actually, recently did an interview on a podcast with Bob Ruffalo from Impact, who's one of the elite HubSpot partners that I've known for more than 12 years. And he actually shared every one of his metrics, from his traffic to his sign up to his leads, to all the way down to his revenue, and his deal volume and deal flow and all that on that podcast. Now imagine being able to show up to a prospect and say, hey, would you like to compare yourself to someone like Bob, right? If you were selling to agencies, for example. I know that most people on this call are not selling to agencies, but now insert law firm, right? Where you have a law firm that's amazing. You do a podcast interview with them, you talk to them about how they're performing. Now you share that with the other clients or other prospects. All of them are going to want to get access to this group because they're going to know, how does the top law firms go to market? So that's benchmark groups. You can go there right now, benchmarks.databox.com, sign up for free. If you want to create your own group, you'll have to chat with us. Right now, we have 30 agencies who are building their own groups, like Good to Be Social is here. And we're just working with them to make sure that they have a solid plan and that they're successful. But that functionality is free. So if somebody wants to take advantage of it, they can. You can also, it also works with our affiliate program. So when you invite a company to join your group, one option is to just let them create a free account. If they create a free account, then they ultimately upgrade using our and buy our analytics tool. We will pay out 20% for the life of the customer there. You can also set this up so that you have complete control, where you add the clients behind the scenes, so that you can just show up to a meeting with your client and show them their benchmarks as well. So you don't have to invite them to create their own account, and if you don't want to. Cool. All right, moving on. Any questions on this?
No. So yeah, I mean, data is a good segue to new services. If you're kind of running into walls with clients, or things are getting stale, and maybe they've been on the same retainer for a long time, and they're just kind of waiting for you to come to them with some ideas, this is a great opportunity to start conversation and back into, of course, them asking you, well, what can we do to change that? which
Right.
is the buying question that you want to get asked.
Exactly. Yeah, most humans don't like to be at the bottom of a list. Right. They want to be at the top. They want to be the winners first in the race. So when you show someone these charts, they start to ask those questions. How do we do better?
Yeah.
And also a really interesting or important point here is once somebody joins this group, these charts actually turn red or green depending on whether their performance is above or below the median. So if they have, for example, 600 LinkedIn followers, this chart would be green. There would also be a line that shows that they have 600 once they connect their LinkedIn page in this case.
That's super.
So you could show up to a meeting with a bunch of red charts basically and say, hey, here's where you're at versus my other clients, or here's where you're at versus other companies in your industry.
Killer.
Cool.
Super smart.
All right. So I'd be remiss to say that I'd be remiss if I didn't say we had another product. We've been working on this product for actually before I joined the company, 10 plus years. We've built all these integrations with tools like Google Analytics, Stripe, Facebook ads, HubSpot, databases, all the SQL databases, basically all the Google products, analytics, ads, Search Console, Zapier, Sheets, et cetera. And so what we've done is we know those tools. We've pre-programmed templates for you to be able to just pull data from those tools literally in minutes. But we've also built a really robust tool for you to customize your dashboards, not just colors and words, but you can actually choose the metrics that you want, choose the visualizations, choose the date ranges that you want to use. In many cases, you can put metrics from different tools on one dashboard. So if you want to show all the spend across all the different ad platforms, it's very easy to do. If you want to show a funnel like this one here, where you maybe start with Google Analytics data and end with active campaign data or something like that, or Salesforce data to show the amount of revenue you booked, that's really easy to do. You just pick different metrics for the different stages of the funnel. So lots of different customizations here. You can also string these dashboards together in a loop. You can put them up on a TV. They work perfectly out of the box on your mobile device. They just, obviously the design gets stacked instead of side by side. You can also set up alerts to receive alerts in Slack or email when numbers go above or below a certain threshold or change by a certain amount. You can set up scorecards if you just want to get a quick scorecard every day or every week for your top 10 metrics or top 20 metrics. You can do that. So lots of different capabilities in there to really help companies both monitor their performance and track progress to goal. And then about 9 months ago, we launched reporting software, automated reporting software. This takes it to the next level, where you can basically build a slide deck and it spits out a PDF, but it looks like a slide deck where you're embedding the dashboards you've already created, but you can also go and just embed a specific metric or visualization. You can also explain the results. Within those results, you can easily pull numbers. So you don't have to go in and type 206,708 every time you want to create a report. You just say, show me the sessions. And that's actually, you're choosing to insert the sessions at a specific, over a specific time period. And that number will automatically refresh every time you create the report or run the report. And so the idea here is that you can automate the crappy parts of creating a report. You don't have to sit there and cut and paste graphics or charts. You don't have to manipulate the data in spreadsheets, and you don't have to sit there and type numbers. All that gets done for you. Now you do still have to go in and explain maybe to clients what you did, what you're doing, what insights you might have gleaned from the data, and what you recommend doing next. But that all the crap work that most people are used to doing for manual reports is automated. So that's the main product. Those are our main products, is dashboards and reporting. We do charge for those. Obviously every agency should be doing some kind of reporting. I would argue that you should think of your reporting process again as a differentiator to help you elevate your relationship with clients. But there are cases where clients will be asking for stuff, right? If they ask you, how should we be performing, or what is good performance, or is this performance good, then your first thought should be, oh, I can benchmark that. You should go to benchmarks.databox.com and maybe run a report for them. But you'll see also lots of clients struggle with analytics. Many don't even have it set up correctly. And you can help with that. And then Databox helps you pull all that analytics together. And of course, if anybody's talking about goals or tracking their performance to goals, we have a very robust goal tracking feature in the Databox analytics tool as well. And benchmarks are actually really good ways to gut check whether your goal is realistic or not. And so again, recommend thinking about consulting, strategy consulting. I would consider, if you're not already an expert in OKRs, learning about OKRs and asking your clients what are their objectives for the year, what are the key results they're being measured on, not just their marketing department, but their company in general. That can open the door for you to be much more strategic. But even if you are just selling marketing services and don't want to be selling consulting, Databox is good for really any tracking the performance of any measurable marketing service. And we have a lot of companies that use this also to track their sales results out of CRMs and e-commerce platforms. So one thing that's really good about Databox is you can pull all your marketing data and all your sales data and your finance data in, and put it all next to each other to see how everything's affecting each other. And again, we have integrations with most popular marketing and sales tools and finance tools, but our common use cases are when a company is doing ads across multiple platforms and doing SEO. They're most likely going to be using 5 to 6 different tools or platforms, and pulling all that data into one spot helps them track things better, helps you report things better. Marketing automation, because it's so closely tied to sales, is also a common use case for Databox. So if you're doing a lot of lead gen or lead capture, lead qualification, nurturing, et cetera, measuring all of that and the impact of that in Databox is common. And then, of course, CRM and finance data. So really any tool that has any of that data should make you think of Databox or some kind of a reporting process. And again, so service number one that we recommend is you should offer a benchmarking service. You should have something on your website that says we can benchmark your business. I'm a big believer in agencies focusing in on a vertical market, so I highly recommend that here. So like the agency I shared before works with law firms. I actually work with mostly large law firms. And then there's other agencies we're working with. I have somebody that's only working with marijuana dispensaries. So they're building a benchmark for marijuana dispensaries. Somebody that's only works with B2B SaaS companies from 10 to 100 million ARR who sell to enterprise. So like you should get specific around who you market and sell to. That's a good advice anyways. But if you are specific, or if you're hoping to be more specific with your strategy, benchmark is a great way for you to get started there. In fact, a lot of the agencies that I'm working with right now, of the 30 that are building a benchmark group, most of them are not yet niche, but they all have a handful of clients in a niche, and they've made a decision that they want to move towards that niche and be more focused on their marketing and sales towards that niche. And so building a benchmark service is a really good way to go about that, because it gets you access to data that helps you gain credibility with the next person, the next prospect in that niche. Time to learn how to set up this service is like an hour. It's really simple. You basically pick which data sources you want, pick what metrics you want, and then you invite people to join it. It's like almost as simple as creating like a Facebook group or a LinkedIn group. Not that anybody does that anymore. But you got the idea. It's very simple. The hard part is actually getting companies to opt in. That takes some effort. A lot of the agencies we're working with already use us for reporting, so they were able to get their clients to opt in quite easily. But if you're just getting into a niche and you have to go out and get people to opt in, you will need to build a list of people or prospects in that niche. You will need to do outreach to them. You'll need to create some content to them. We have a playbook that we recommend that's allowed us to get 1,500 people to sign up for this just in the last 30 days. And so there's a playbook we can provide. We haven't yet published it yet, but that is our next step. It might take time for you to build your benchmark group, but the relative value of that time invested, I think, will be high. In fact, in David Baker's book, The Secret Tradecraft of Elite Advisors, he talks about how agencies should build IP, a new piece of IP, intellectual property, every 3 to 4 years. And so you should study something new, build a data set, and in a market that you can then leverage with your next client every 3 to 4 years. But it won't take you 3 to 4 years to build this. This will take like 3 to 4 months at most. And for some of you who have a big audience, or have a lot of clients in a specific niche, literally it will be 3 to 4 hours to get this done. So not too hard to do. But getting people to opt in and stuff is it needs to become part of your selling process, so that you're getting new people in and you're leveraging the data to sell them. Next, service, which we already talked about, is that strategy and analytics retainer. Recommend thinking of yourself like a consultant. Help your clients set their entire strategy, but then monitor, analyze, and report performance and progress, not just of your services, but their entire business. If you can insert yourself that way, almost like a strategy officer or a revenue operations manager, director, you get yourself into the entire company's strategy. It makes it a lot easier for you to then sell your services, and recommend new services as well. And so that's where I believe analytics can help you. It'll take you a lifetime to learn this, right? There's so many tools out there. There's so many tactics. It'll take forever to really perfect it. I learn new things about running different parts of our business literally every week, and you should too. But to get set up and started on this, we make it pretty easy. Spend 10 hours and you're relatively savvy with analytics. You'll be set up with your own custom templates for dashboards and reports that you can deploy to new clients, existing clients. If you have to train some of your staff on some of this stuff, it might take 100 hours total over a year or whatever, being realistic. But I would expect that most of that time, or much of that time, would be billable, right? You're not going to go and just like build dashboards and reports for the sake of it. You're going to do it for existing clients. And as you do that for one client, that's become stuff that you can reuse very easily in Databox, literally by just creating a template and cloning it. So steps for setting this up: try our free product. Just go to databox.com and click sign up. Actually, real quick, if you signed up at benchmarks.databox.com or Databox, it's really the same account. You're creating an account that works with both products, so you can sign up in either spot. My team is there to help you with setting up your dashboards and reports. We actually have a support team that's like 30 or so people, sales team, account management, et cetera. They're all there to basically help agencies get set up. We love helping agencies get set up because we know once we get you set up once, you'll use that over and over for every client. And so we will build dashboards for you. You can send us custom reports that you built and we'll try to duplicate them. You can tell us, hey, I don't know what I should report, but here's the data. And we'll go and we'll use our standard best practices and deliver back to you a bunch of dashboards and reports that you can start using. And then after that, start selling it, start consulting. Again, on the pricing, Benchmark Groups is free. You can go there right now and access benchmarks, like I said, from 15,000 plus companies. If you want to build your own benchmark group, just start a conversation with us. You'll see the little chat bubble in there once you log in. Start a conversation and say, hey, I want to start my own benchmark group. I saw this webinar with partner programs and Alex Glenn, and I'd like to learn how to create my own group. And we'll send you a quick application form. One of us will help you get it set up, and we'll be off and running. The cost of the analytics tool, you have to buy one plan. Our lowest plan is $72. Don't quote me. Our highest plan starts at like 300 and some, I believe, a month. If you pay annually, we'll discount it 20%. That's right on the pricing page. We don't do any custom discounting, but we'll gladly give you a discount if you're willing to make a commitment up front. We will work with you in a free trial of that plan, of any of those plans, paid plans, to help you get set up so that you are confident in making that annual purchase. And after you buy your license, we're a true reseller model. There's really few, if any, models like this in SaaS, but it's like the old school reseller model where you basically buy the product and you resell it. When you bring a client on board, you do not have to pay our base fee again. You basically just pay for the overall usage on your plan. We ask that you bill your client for the software, but that goes to your bottom line. And ultimately, since you're paying based on usage, and we'll get into the details here, you can go to our pricing page or talk to a rep to see it. but you're going to be paying tens of dollars per client per month. And so if you're using our product, our analytics product, to help you secure your retainer or secure your services or upsell or elevate your services into consulting, obviously this is like a steal. So it's priced that way. We are developing more advanced products with AI baked in that we will charge a bit more for, but our current plans and everything I showed you here today are relatively inexpensive per client. Cool. I'm also a huge advocate of co-marketing with partners. I see it as mutually beneficial, and as CEO of Databox, I make sure that it happens because it not only helps us, but helps our partners, both short-term and long-term. And so we've actually been featuring our partners in our blog content for 6 years. We've gathered more than 10,000 quotes and written more than 1,000 articles, all based on interviewing or asking questions of our partners and other experts. And so if you want to be featured in the blog content and you haven't already, Databox is an easy one to get involved in, as long as you have some expertise to share that's relevant to the content we're writing. At any given time, we're writing 5 to 10, or I should say, we're gathering quotes for 5 to 10 articles and research reports. So chances are that you'll have some expertise that you can lend to one of our upcoming pieces. We'll also promote your benchmark group to our audience, right? When somebody goes to benchmarks.databox.com, they can browse groups. We haven't yet listed our partners groups there, but we will at some point once there's enough of them and they have enough members in them. But in the meanwhile, we are promoting our partners' benchmark groups to help them get their first 15 members. You need 15 members for it to calculate, the benchmark to calculate. And so we're fully committed to helping our partners grow their own benchmark groups, because if they grow their benchmark group, it's also a sign up for us. It's a free sign up for us, but helps us extend our reach. So it's truly a win-win. There, I don't know of any other product like it, honestly. For agencies or in the SaaS world. But truly a win-win. It's been designed that way from the beginning. And then we also have a pretty solid podcast. We have a newsletter with thousands of subscribers. What we've been doing is interviewing some of our top partners, people that are overperforming in benchmark groups, people that have their own benchmark groups. We're interviewing them on our podcast, not every podcast, but in some cases. And then our podcast always gets distilled into an article as well as a newsletter, edition that goes out to our list as well. So lots of opportunities for our top partners to be featured in our content. And then lastly, and we're just starting this, our top partners are also eligible to conduct surveys with us, which will allow them to build proprietary data sets that complement the benchmark group. So for example, we have a survey we ran on Facebook ads best practices. It was 30 plus questions on there. And what we were able to do from that is identify the Facebook ads best practices of top performing Facebook advertisers and publish that. And so next up, we're working with a partner to identify the best ways that you should use HubSpot. And we'll be comparing that to HubSpot performance data to identify the ways to use HubSpot that result in top performance. So if that's something you're interested in doing, you have to start a benchmark group, prove to us that you can build up your membership in that group, and we will entertain doing a survey with you so that when you go out to the market, you have some really unique data that where you can go to your target prospects and say, here's the best way for you to grow your business, and have absolute data, rock solid data that proves your points and proves your perspectives. So that's what we're up to. Would love to partner with anybody here. Again, go to benchmarks.databox.com and kind of went to the next line there. Create a free account. Once you're in there, you can apply to create your own group. Soon there'll actually be a link right in there where you can apply. But in the meanwhile, just start a chat with somebody and say that you want to start one. And let's generate leads together. And if that works out and you want to explore our analytics tools as well, obviously we have a whole team, 100 plus people there focus in on helping our partners learn that product and get that product set up as well.
Killer. A couple questions. First question is, are you guys publishing a list of group ideas that haven't been created yet? I assume there's a lot to be created.
It's almost like infinite. So not yet. What we will be doing soon, is on my plate, is to publish the first 30 groups from our partners. So some of the ones I mentioned there, the law firm one, the B2B SaaS one, the marijuana dispensary one, all that. So we'll have that list. And so people will be able to look at that list and say, oh, well, my niche is different. There's also some groups that are similar. Like we have one agency that's doing B2B SaaS companies 10 to 100 million, and one that's doing B2B SaaS 5 million plus. So there's going to be some overlap, and I think that's fine. It's actually kind of cool because then we'll have two different benchmarks and we'll be able to see how different they are. It'll be
a couple things. Okay, cool. Yeah. So geo specific could be a good way to think about it. If you see one on the list, but it's not geo specific.
So we don't have any like default stuff on geo stuff. So yeah, if you're in New York City, I mean, bad example. If you're in
Europe versus
Ohio, right?
North
Yeah,
America.
it's like, hey, I want to do a benchmark group for just local businesses, then or regional businesses or something like that. Then that will work perfectly fine too, because the agency gets to control who's in there. So they literally see a list of members. They literally enter in email invites, or they can share a link with someone to join, but then they can remove people as well that don't fit. So it's really up to the agency to manage who's in there. But there's also like any number of B2C niches, right? Like restaurants, high-end restaurants, like the local pest control guy, general contractors, builders, like there's all kinds of industries that we haven't done anything with that I think agencies could focus in on as well.
Okay, so I invite people that have a hub probably have to have all the same technology connected to Databox, right? Isn't that the criteria?
Yeah, so they don't so any member of a benchmark group can create a free account and connect up to 3 data sources for free on both of our products.
Got it.
And that can use them across both products. So you could like any user could like connect their Google Analytics, their Google Ads, and their Facebook Ads account, build dashboards on the free plan, and also benchmark their performance using benchmark groups. And all that's free. So basically, the agency will select what technology they want to include in their benchmark group. I recommend like starting with really popular ones like Google Analytics, Search Console, Facebook, Google, LinkedIn ads, LinkedIn company page, Facebook pages, et cetera, HubSpot CRM. Like there's a lot of really popular tools amongst those companies that you can create a group around and then invite people to join. You can also set up your benchmark group to include data from multiple tools, and a company really only needs to connect one in order to see the data from that tool.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. And if we don't want to start a benchmark group, but I still want to be that sort of source of education for my client, I can get them onto Databox. I can see what their performance specifically is in relation to whatever category, whatever data point metric it is, and I don't have to start my own group. I can just show.
You don't have to start your group. If you just go to benchmarks.databox.com and you'll see there's a bunch of ways to find benchmarks. You can literally just type like a metric name. You could type sessions and it'll show you benchmarks for different types of industries for sessions. Or you can go and say, I know I want to benchmark Google Analytics and I have a manufacturing client. So you can go in and search for the groups where you type in Google Analytics manufacturing, and there'll literally be a group that says Google Analytics benchmarks for manufacturing companies. And they'll just click that and join that. And all you have to do is create an account if you don't already have one. Connect your Google Analytics account, and you'll instantly see the benchmark data as well as how you or your client compares to the group. And for that group, for example, Google Analytics for manufacturers, we have, I think, don't quote me, but like 700 manufacturers already opted in. So it's really a great data set that companies can use to benchmark their performance.
Got it. Very cool. Well, this is great. So by the time you're watching this, there will probably be even more to check out. It'll hopefully stay under that same domain. If it changes, we'll get
It
that.
will, no change.
We'll update it for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you have any issues, I'm assuming there's some support.
Yeah, we
links.
literally respond to people within seconds in chat. So yeah,
Easy.
yeah.
Oh, that's perfect. Okay, so yeah, check it out. At least, experiment with one client, see if they like the data, if it helps them. I'm sure it will. If you have a lot of clients or even just a community of agencies that you want to pool together and get a benchmark going, definitely apply for one of those. And then, of course, if you're not using Databox, that's par for the course at this point. If you're especially a digital marketing agency, and
Yeah, you don't have to be, though. Just to be clear, you can use the benchmarks tool for free. And if you go there and you just want to benchmark your own agency's performance, we actually have a bunch of groups for agencies. So whether you're using Google Analytics or HubSpot or the ad platform, Search Console, we have groups for that just include marketing agencies. Again, of course, it's anonymous. People aren't going to see that you're in that group. Even you're not going to see who else is in that group, but you will be able to see the aggregate benchmark just by joining that group, and literally takes seconds.
Makes sense. So we've got this deck for you. If you're watching this, it'll just be on the same page. All the links and even support information will be on the page as well. We may even put some screenshots and some other content here for you to absorb. Pete Caputa, thank you so much for giving us that track. That was super unique. I'm glad we did this.
Well, man, appreciate the opportunity. Hopefully we can help a lot of companies figure out how to improve their performance in the coming years.
I'm sure we will, with the help of all of you. Thank you, guys. Take care, Pete.